Hi guys, and welcome back to Module 5. This is the Gary Pisano reading, You Need an Innovation Strategy. So Pisano is actually one of my favorites. I think he does a fantastic job of explaining the different types of innovation and giving us some good ideas about how to manage innovations, different decisions to make us most productive with our innovation strategies. So innovation strategies and systems. A strategy is a commitment to set coherent, mutually reinforcing policies or behaviors aimed at achieving a specific competitive goal. So obviously when we're talking about innovation, we're talking about increasing our competitiveness. We're talking about finding a different way of marketing our products, maybe finding a different product potentially that complements our products, or responding to a competitive threat. But it's all about creating a competitive situation for our company. So good strategies promote alignment among diverse groups within an organization. So we've got to pull together the different organizations that are going to impact our ability to market our new innovation. So manufacturing, research and development, marketing, sales. Good strategies help those groups work together to produce a competitive product. Clarify objectives and strategies. So a lot of times when we're doing, innovative things, you're talking about research and development, there's a lot of gray area, and strategies help us to understand which way to go when there's some ambiguity. Focus effort around objectives, making sure that from an objective perspective, perhaps there are time frames that we need to meet, and we want to make sure that our efforts are aligned to whatever those objectives are. If it's a time frame that that perhaps a competitive offering is out in the market, and we need to be able to respond within a reasonable amount of time, we need to make sure that the amount of resources that are assigned are adequate to achieve the objective. And Pisano says there are rarely good strategies that are defined around innovation efforts, unfortunately. So it's one of those things that he really feels that if we're able to define a strategy around innovation, it would really help us to make the most of our money and our resources in getting to the next step with an innovation. Innovation systems are a coherent set of interdependent processes and structures that dictates how the company, 1, searches for new problems and solutions, 2, synthesizes ideas into business concepts and product designs, selects which projects are funded, and a company without an innovation strategy won't be able to make the trade-off decisions and choose all the elements of the innovation system. So without a strategy, you end up with a lot of favorites, right? So I happen to have an interest in XYZ, but my counterpart has an interest in something else completely, and I'm going to try to get the resources assigned to my interest, where he or she's going to try to get resources assigned to his. And even that that struggle itself is a waste of resources and time if they're not aligned to the company efforts. So we want to make sure that that we can create and market a new innovation effectively to create this competitive position. And that's basically the last statement for this slide. A good innovation strategy should start with a clear understanding and articulation of specific objectives related to helping the company achieve a sustainable competitive advantage. So this is about directing the rider, right? So when you're talking about innovation, you're talking about a lot of emotions, you're talking about a lot of ambiguity, and you really need very specific instructions so that our rider knows which way to go and can navigate down the path, especially a new path. That's basically where we're going to here with this innovation strategy, where we're going down a new road for the company, and we really need some very specific instructions. So he specifically says things, don't say, we want to be more innovative, we want, we need, specific strategies towards specific objectives so that the rider and the people associated know which way to go. Innovation strategies and elements. A strategy is a commitment to set coherent, mutually reinforcing policies or behaviors aimed at achieving a specific competitive goal. So how will innovation create value for potential customers? How do they induce customers to pay more money, save customers money, provide a larger societal benefit like clean water, perhaps better performing products? Maybe the innovation improves ease of use, reliability, durability, cost savings. Choose your value proposition and stick with it. Because again, we're trying to get alignment within diverse organizations within the company, and we need to make sure that the objectives are clear, so that when marketing has competing goals, competing products within their basket, they understand where to put the resources. They understand which product is going to create a better competitive advantage for the company. And as with sales as well. Sales is one of those places where, and it's probably like everything else, but coming out of sales, I know that it's easy to get stuck selling something that you're very comfortable with. Innovation is going to be something completely new, and it's going to require new value propositions. It might require new customers altogether, which means we're starting over. And without very clear directions and incentives and reward systems, it's going to be tough to get people to go down a new path. So innovation strategies have got to be clear, and in order to get all of these diverse organizations aligned. How will the company capture the share of value its innovations generate? So there was some articulation in the reading about this. So process innovation must quickly follow product innovation in order to stay ahead of copycats. So when you create a new product and the market responds to it positively, you can bet people are behind the scenes re-engineering things and trying to get something out to market quicker, maybe cheaper, so that they can capture the lion's share of the market interest in that particular innovation, new product. He also recommends things like complementary assets, so iPhones and iPads. They work together, and that was a nice way of Apple to tie those things together so that people see value in doing business with Apple instead of just getting a tablet from anywhere. And embedded systems with switching costs. This was an example he gave for Corning, who goes into companies and finds new ways of helping them develop things. Their objective is to embed their innovation into the company environment so that the company can't make changes to someone who's doing the same thing only cheaper, because it's embedded in their system, and there's going to be switching costs associated with maybe bringing in new machinery or creating new processes or something like that. So when you put the money into creating a new innovation, you want to be able to reap the benefits, and in order to do that, your strategy has to support that. And this again is part of the alignment, right? So as you're working on a new product, where that product curve starts to turn down, that process curve really has to start ramping up so that we can get efficient processes in place and drive costs down so that we get the lion's share of the value. And that's the first part of Pisano. We'll come back to part 2.